Hi, good evening. I hope you are see this that I am sharing you. Let me explain or not. Are you seeing the screen that I am sharing?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. You can start the presentation now.
Okay. So today I'm going to share with you critical writing skills, and there are certain things that we are going to discuss in this. So first, I think someone's mic is on, so please mute your mic. So what we are going to discuss in this, first we need to understand what do we mean by the word critical here, particularly when we talk about the writing skills. So when we talk about the word critical, that means we are talking about the analytical part of writing, as well as we are we are talking about something that is done very carefully. At the same time, when we talk about critical writing skills, we need to understand these two concepts like Bix and Kelp. These concepts were introduced by Jim Cummins in 1976, where he said that Bix is basic interpersonal communication skills and Kelp is cognitive academic language proficiency. And he also pointed out that there is a difference between these two types of skills and their acquisition. So when we talk about BITS, that means we are talking about speaking and listening. And when we're talking about CALP, then we are talking about reading and writing. So in general, we can say that reading and writing is a difficult comparatively than speaking and listening. And speaking and listening is acquired more quickly than reading and writing. So in a way, no one can claim that I have mastered the writing skills or I have become the perfect writer now. But you can very easily say that, okay, I am a fluent speaker. So the thing is that each day we write and each day we learn new phrases, new structure, new way of saying the same thing in different. So writing is more analytical, and when we write, we need to pay more attention. We need to be more careful. So, what do we mean by writing critically? We need to understand what we are saying as an author and the information that we are imparting to our audience is the information that we are imparting to our audience is real. We are using to communicate to our audience, and whether whatever we write is it objective or not. So these are the things that we need to keep in mind when we write critically. But reading and writing, they go hand in hand like speaking and listening. So it is not the case that you are writing but you are not a good reader. Both these skills, they are important and they go simultaneous. So I just want to demonstrate you that if you want to be a critical writer, for that you must be a critical reader as well. So there is one example of critical thinking that is associated with both critical writing and critical reading. So here is one example. A young woman wants a tattoo and argues with her mother who forbids her from getting one. So this is a very commonsensical sentence that a young girl wants to have a tattoo and mother is not willing to have one. Now, if you simply write this and do not tell what is the function of writing it or what is the argument behind it, then that writing is half done. That writing is plain writing but not a critical one. So when you write something that is given in this example, you also assert the function. So why someone is doing something? So here in this case, to assert independence. So it is a young woman's way to assert independence to her mother. So this is one type of example. Another is like sometimes the students become so preoccupied with the format of essay writing, an introduction and a conclusion, they forget the essay main purpose. It must have something to say on a particular subject. Now, let's say you have another paragraph and you are writing, but what does it convey? It conveys that content is more important than the format. So the bottom line is that in order to become critical writer, you must be a critical reader, and for both critical reader and critical writer, you require critical thinking skill. Now, how is it possible that someone writes critically? So it is not like very spontaneous process. You need to think it again and again. So here is one sample where one writer is at work. So I am just going to read it for you. Good writers have good ideas. Where do those ideas come from? Most writers get ideas from many places. They go for walks, they talk with friends, and they read. In fact, most writers read a lot. Then they are ready to explain their ideas. After they write, they are not finished. They read their work and make changes. They make their ideas clearer. They also check their grammar, spelling, and punctuation. When they finish, the reader will understand and enjoy reading the ideas. Now, there are so many sentences here, and as you can see in the bubbles, the mark of interrogation is placed. So, what I would like to demonstrate that though at surface level, this paragraph, this short passage looks very superficial, very ordinary, but even in this ordinary paragraph, there has lot of things to say. So how does it start? It starts with a general statement. Good writers have good ideas. Now in the second sentence, you have a question. Where do those ideas come from? But this question is a special type of question that is known as rhetorical question. So in rhetorical questions, generally the writer raises the question and the writer provides an answer to it. So in the third sentence, writer provides the answer. Most writers get ideas from many places. They go for walk, they talk with friends, and they read. In fact, most writers read a lot. So again, in good writing, you find a lot of conjunctions. So here they talk with friends and they read is an example of conjunction. In fact, now starting is with in fact. Now in fact is a discourse marker. So a discourse marker creates a flow in your writing. Most writers read a lot. Then is again a discourse marker. They are ready to explain their ideas after they write. They are not finished. They read their work and make changes. They make their ideas clearer. They also check their grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Another example of conjunction. When they finish, their reader will understand and enjoy reading the ideas. So you can see that even something that looks very ordinary piece of writing, there are lots of things, lot of linguistic elements that are responsible for making that piece wonderful. Starting with general statement, starting with a rhetorical question, then lots of discourse markers, conjunctions that are there. So writers, when they write, they need to keep this thing in their mind. It is not the case that they are writing spontaneously whatever is coming into their mind. They reread it, then rewrite it, they check for grammar, they check for spelling, they check for punctuation. Now, we also find a lot of repetition. So, what are the things that are repeated? Like good writers have good ideas. So here the word idea is there. Most writers get ideas from many places. So again the idea that is repeated here. Then they are ready to explain their ideas again third time, that is repeated. Then they read their work and make changes. They make type construction is also there. So it is not the case that repetition is always bad in writing, because you can see that so many words are repeated, like they occurs 10 times in a small piece of writing. Writers occur 3 times. The word right occurs once. Then there are other words. But when you read it, you do not feel that certain words are repeated again and again, because they are in different construction. So the syntax is taking care of that repetition, and even the words are repeated, we do not feel as if words are repeated. So how do writers write? I start with very simple example. I am strong. I like sports. Sports are important to me. I play soccer and tennis. I also ride my bicycle. Now, very short sentences. You can start with very short sentences, and you can just try to work on those sentences and make it more professional piece of writing. So this is about me. Like you write about your hobby, you write about yourself. So I am strong. For example, strong is an ambiguous word, because here it does not tell whether you are mentally strong, physically strong. So we have changed it with the physical one, athletic. I am athletic. So we remove the ambiguity. I like sports. So this athletic thing is going fine with sports. Then again, sports are important to me. Now this is a redundant sentence, so we cut this, because I like sports or sports are important to me. Both these sentences, they mean same thing. I play soccer and tennis. I also ride my bicycle. So we need to take redundant information away, and also we need to take care of the ambiguous words for writing. So is there any formula uh, that can make our writing more concrete, more professional? Yes, there is a formula. So these 7 things you need to take care of. For example, you need to minimize the use of prepositions. And you already know what is a preposition. Prepositions generally occur before noun. Then also you need to find out the auxiliaries that are there in your writing. And then you need to cross question where is the action. That means like you need to use more action words, action verbs. For example, do is like action, fine. And so in place of using the word deed, you need to use do. In order to in place of using establishment, you need to use establish. That means if there is a word and that word has also a form, a verb form, you need to go for that verb form rather than the noun form. Then change the action into a simple verb, move the doer into the subject. That means always be in the active. Don't make passive sentences. Eliminate any unnecessary slow winds up and eliminate any redundancy. That means repetition of information that you need to remove. So with this, it is known as paramedic writing. That means like uh, you are removing errors from your writing. You are making your writing strong. So writers do many things to get ideas. So this is again the activity, like whether it is true or false. Talking is not helpful for writing. So these are like the things that you can cross question yourself. Writer do many things to get ideas. Obviously, you need to talk to people, you need to observe people, you need to look around, you need to read a lot. Then good writers do not need to make change to their writing, no, because writing is a continuous process. Again and again, you need to make a change. Writers want people to understand their writing, obviously. You want that people should understand what you are saying. So, what you need to follow? You need to read, discuss, write, reread, edit, rewrite, and then again do it till you are not satisfied. So, you need to be satisfied with your writing, then or you need to understand what I have written, whether is it making any sense to me or not. And if is it making any sense to you, that means the audience can also understand your piece of writing. So writing process, and through this process you discover new things, you organize and communicate your thoughts to a reader, and the writing process gives you a chance to compose, draft, rethink, redraft, to control the outcome of your writing. So these are technically standard procedures of writing, like pre-writing, organizing. Pre-writing is like whatever comes into your mind, you write it. Then you try to organize those things, which will come first, which will come next. You draft, prepare draft one, draft two, you revise it, you edit it, and then prepare the final draft. And what are the pre-writing process? That means talking, free writing, brainstorming, journal writing. Journal here doesn't mean the academic journal, but your rough notebook that you carry all the time. And something comes into your mind, you just make a note of it. Reading, searching on internet. So these are all pre-writing processes through which you can improve your writing. So like we read for different purposes. Similarly, uh, when you read a piece of text, people will, when you write a piece of text, then people will read it in different manner. So, so for example, you write an academic paper. An academic paper is generally for in-depth reading, and you write, let's say, a newspaper article. Then there is a possibility that people will not read it fully, but read a couple of paragraphs. So you have different styles of writing. So newspaper, magazines, articles writing is different from research papers, professional articles, and journals writing. Similarly, scanning is also the part of reading. And let's say you want to go for a shopping and you prepare a shopping list, then also you are writing something. But we will not discuss that, because that type of writing is informal type of writing, or not comes under the periphery of in-depth reading writing process. So there are pre-writing activity, posing intelligent questions. Like you need to pose very intelligent questions before you start writing. So let's say you are writing about SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and you can raise question for your country and for yourself. So, for example, the same question you can raise for your country, that what are the things to be done to remove poverty. So you can raise the same question for yourself, for your country, for the world. So you will find what is that one thing you want for yourself. Then the answer will be money or quality education. So what is that one thing that you want to remove from your country? So the answer is no poverty, zero hunger. Someone will write corruption. So this is the process of brainstorming. You pose intelligent questions, you put different perspective, and then you will get different answers. So again, like the pre-writing activity follows the trap method. Now, what is this trap method? Whenever you start writing, you need to write the type of source. So whether you get that information first hand or second hand. So most of the time the information is second hand. Your source is secondary. whether the information is relevant or not, and who is the author of that information. That means you need to take care of references and citations also. Then what is the aim of that source, why that other person has written that piece of writing, what is the nature of the context, and in which style that writing is written, or whether that is a sensitive topic or it is just for pleasure reading. So all such things that are covered under the track method, that is again the part of rewriting activity. You can also draw spidergrams like this, where one idea is connected to another idea. So there is a link between them. So this is the part of cognitivism generally, like how you remember certain things. So when there is a link between different elements, then you can remember them easily. So let's say when you talk about no poverty, that means no poverty is linked to zero hunger. So Sustainable Development Goal 1 is attached to Development Goal 2. No poverty, zero hunger. If there is zero hunger, then what will happen? Good health and well-being. So again, it is associated with this. Then how can we have good health and well-being when we have clean water and sanitization? So likewise, you can connect your ideas and then you can construct your draft 1, draft 2. Right. So this is another sample of writing, and this is another sample of writing. So you can see that uh, here we have the spidergrams. Like let's say we are writing about uh, the Cajuns. So a very different form of music unique to Louisiana is the accordion music of the Cajuns. Group of musicians travel from town to town performing at all-night dances called Fedodo. A Cajun band usually consists of a fiddle, guitar, accordion, and set of steel triangles. Many of the rockling tunes came from France in early 1700, but the songs, though usually sung in French, are often distinctively American in theme. Even the vicious bayou mosquitoes are a worthy subject. The mosquitoes have eaten up my sweetheart. They have left only two big toes. So it's like you can say like music and humor. That is, so let's say someone has written this piece, but what are the things that are there? So basically the main idea is Louisiana Cajuns, and you are writing about music. So under music you have fiddle, accordion, guitar, and then performers travel in towns and this sort of. So once you have this much information, then you can have a piece of writing. So sometimes spidergrams, making spidergrams, things which are associated with each other will also help you writing your work. Similarly, when you write, you need to think about I should write in proper paragraph. So in a proper paragraph, you have topic sentence, supporting sentence, and concluding sentence. So here you can see an excerpt from SDG Goal 1 and extreme poverty in all forms by 2030. So you can see there is a topic sentence. Yes, it is an ambitious goal, but we believe it can be done. And then there is a statistical support like in 2000, the world committed to halving the number of people in extreme poverty by the year 2015, and we met this goal. However, a discourse marker that is there, then now it is time. So you can see the style is formal plus informal, uh, conversational, and you have lots of discourse marker, statistical data, and you can say it is like a structured paragraph, and you can read it easily, and you can remember certain things. For example, 800 million people around the world still live on less than $1.25 a day. So likewise, here you have different example like a topic sentence. Then you can see the first sentence indenting half inch. So this is the general way of writing. Another way of writing, as you can see. Then when you write, you should also know how to take notes. let's say you are reading 50 pages of a book, so you cannot remember 50 pages, but at least you should take notes that whatever is said in those 50 pages can be there in your 2 to 5 pages. That is the art of note taking. So here you can see that how you can take notes or what are the important information that you need to keep in mind while taking notes. Because note taking is also important, because most of the time when you read secondary source and then you want to write on your own, then you require note taking. Also you need to take care of argumentative way of writing. Argumentative way of writing has certain things like you make a proposition, that is your claim, and you have a qualifier for that. And qualifiers are generally the quantifiers like some, few, fine, slight, very. So these are basically the qualifiers that you have. So for example, here there is a qualifier all and extreme poverty in all forms by 2030. So you start with this qualifier, you make a claim with a qualifier, then you provide evidence, you provide rebuttal, you provide warrant. Rebuttal is you are just giving a counter argument against your own argument. So this is a way of argumentative, as if you are arguing with someone. But this is a way of, there's a style of writing it. Similarly, you can see that once you write something and once you are in the process of note taking, you also need to raise questions in order to understand it better. For example, when we read SDG Goal 10, reduce inequality within and among countries, so it starts like it's an old story. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So you can cross question, is there an end to this old story? If yes, then how? That means you are arguing with the writer. And arguing with the writer, that means like if you improvise or if you just make this piece better, then you will take these questions into consideration and then you provide the answers to these questions. So that's why argumentative reading is also required when you write something. Similarly, how to do proper summary, that is also required. So summary is basically you remove all the data that is there and you try to just get the crux of the the text. So you have different types of, for example, the previous paragraph we have read. In Louisiana, Cajuns play lively accordion music. Many tunes came from the France in 1700, but today lyrics, usually sung in French, have strong American themes. So this is a summary of the paragraph. Similarly, like paraphrase is not summary. Paraphrase is like saying the same thing in different words. And in paraphrase, you also take care of the data that is there. So that means like you are not going to miss any information in paraphrase. Similarly, we have the paraphrase of this. Also, when you write something, also take care of the research gap. So, what is research gap? Research gap is the feeling that you have that you are not the first person who is writing on that particular topic. So that means like previous writers, they have also written something, and you need to mention them. Not all, but few authoritative on that particular theme. So here, as you can see, uh, we have colored it in uh, different sentences in different colors. So, but how can this extraordinary popularity be explained in the red color font I have read? So that means like you are raising a rhetorical question, then you are providing the answer. Over the years, the question has been posed often, and although the series has been analyzed from various perspectives, there is still no clear answer. That means you are going to add something new, and you are mentioning the previous researchers like Wilson, Click Aubrey, Moravitz, Jones, and Wisniewski. So this is again the way of writing critically. Then, when you are finished with your writing, you can conduct a readability test. Readability test is available online, um, running readability text, and you can just put your text there And if your score is between 7 to 8, that means your piece is a good piece of writing. But if it is like below 7 to 8, that means like it is not mature piece of writing. And if it is above 7 to 8, that means like it is more difficult. So you need to stick between 7 or 8. That you need to keep in mind. Then sometimes linguistics also assist you when you have linguistic knowledge. Then it also assists you analyzing a text and writing better. So thank you all for your patience listening. I think uh, I made some sense to you. And if you have any questions or some queries related to how you can write critically, you can raise your query. I'd be happy to answer. Anyone? You can also write your questions in the chat box. I would try to answer those queries if you have any.
Thank you so much, sir, for a rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question of the session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. না আমাদের এখানে সিস্টেমটা কেমন Welcome back, sir. Welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box. We are waiting for your questions. Sir, I think after a wonderful presentation, our participant can understand the topic very clearly. That's why no questions from our participant. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will have some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional work. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Honorable sir, before we move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can. Their IGP knowledge is time for the webness certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of the process. After a short video, we will list our webness certification. Their IGP knowledge is time for the webness certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of a regular process. After a short video, we will list our webness certification. Certification process. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure you presence on our website. Find your learning session and get enrolled after watching. Committing part 1, next explanation line test passing mark 80% if passed. Back to the post again to download the certificate. It will retake the course. Download the certificate in PDF or separately. For your attention, I'm going to share the procedure again. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure you presence on our website. Find a learning session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, next explanation to be line test passing mark 80% if passed. Back to the post again to download the certificate. It will retake the course. Download the certificate in PDF or separately. At the end of our session, we can set properly video skills. Never stop learning or never stop teaching us. We have to say, see again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you really be happiness, try to do not people of things, but I understand. Before I shall hit the unlike button, I again want to thank all our GP knowledge speakers for your active participation as well. See you again in the next session. Thank you.